All right, guys, welcome back. So in this video, like I mentioned, we're going to discuss the data model, which is based on the two concepts that we have discussed in the previous video, the dependent and the independent table. So like you can see, I have already imported this table, and don't worry if you don't understand this pane. We're going to go through the introductory round for Power BI, and then I'm going to show you different pane that is available to us in the Power BI. By the way, Power BI is not the dashboard designing tool. It is more like the analytical platform where you can you can do all sort of analytical work for your organization. All right, so coming back to the topic. So you can see I have already designed the data model, and in that model you can see we have the independent table called employee, we have the independent table called promotion, and then you can see we have the independent table called currency. We have the okay, I'm not going to talk about a reseller. There is a reason why. Ignore that table, and we have why I was not doing it, because I need to discuss the bridge table first before I discuss the reseller table. So ignore it for a time being. And then we have the table TBL product, which we have discussed in the previous video. Now you can see all these tables, they are independent because their existence doesn't require their entry to be present in the dependent table, right? However, if you come in here and you can see that this is a dependent table, right? Sale, where we are keeping all the, all the sale information for our company. And why we are saying that is dependent table? Because if it needs to contain a product, that product needs to be present in the product table, right? So it requires it has a dependency. It requires an instance of a product within the product table. That's why we called it dependent table. So now you can understand why we are labeling some table as independent and some table as dependent table, right? So that's the model, and I've already created it in our Analytica database. So you let me quickly show you in here as well. So obviously we are now going to extend our database with this sales schema, and I've already moved the data in here. So you can see, like I mentioned, it has normally the dependent table that contain the historical information. So the size normally remains large compared to independent table. And you can see one more thing I want to mention. Like I mentioned, it is surrounded by the other table. So you can see it has so many keys in it, right? And most of the keys are coming from the date. I'm going to discuss the date separately. I'm not actually including it into this video, but you can see we have reseller key, we have employee key, we have product key. One of the most important one, product key, because product is easy to understand in relation to sale, right? And obviously currency key, if our business is international, which currency we are dealing in, and obviously sale territory, and then we have the other attributes linked to our sale. And now you can see we have order quantity, we have the unit price, extended amount, and all these which attributes are showing the information regarding sale, right? And then obviously beside the keys we have the actual order date, due date, and ship date as well, right? So that's the dependent table. Right now we only have one dependent. Just consider we only have one dependent table, and then it is surrounded by a bunch of independent table. And you can see in the independent table, we have the employee key, and then employee, obviously, I haven't discussed the self join. It reminds me I need to record a video on the self join. So I'll do it on that one. But one thing if you can see that we are not concerned about the normalization. Like you can see, we have put everything in a single table, like I mentioned. So you can see we have the pay information, we have the name of the person, which if you remember previously the schema which we have used, we segregate that information into its respective table. If you remember that, right? We have a person table and we have an employee table. But in the analytics concept, what we are doing, especially with the core property of independent table, it it doesn't follow the normalization rule, or it follows the denormalization rules, right? So keep in mind, it follow the denormalization whenever we design the independent table, right? And that's the difference between the independent and a normal table. Let me just drag it to the right, and you can see all the information which is linked to the employee that is sitting into one table, right? And that provides us great power during our analysis at the Power BI level, right? So because once we go and we start analyzing, so we don't need to bring more tables to show the pattern or show the trends on the dashboard, because all the information generally contained into one independent table related to one particular entity. So in this case, if I want to see the employee in this modeling, which is obviously we use for analytical dashboarding, in this kind of modeling, we keep all the information within a single table, right? Which is a very different concept from the operational reporting perspective. So that's the model, and that's the data. Obviously, we can see the other table as well. And over the time, once we're gonna learn the DAX and the Power BI dashboarding, we're gonna see how we can use that information to display on the Power BI dashboard, and how it's going to help us to produce some really interesting and powerful visuals on the dashboard. So that's another independent table which is related to the product. And one thing I want to show you, you can see we have the product subcategory, and I do believe we have the product category as well. If not, I'm going to actually bring that in this table once we start using it into our queries. So hopefully you understand the model, you understand the concept of the dependent and independent table, and how we design the data model based on the dependent and independent tables concept, right? In the next one, we're going to actually write our first DAX expression. We're going to build a small VL based on that DAX expression, and I'm going to show you how you can translate that DAX back into the SQL. So if you have a SQL skill, it's going to really help you to reutilize your skill while you are writing the DAX. So you can imagine now we have learned SQL for SQL Server, and we have already seen SQL is working for other databases as well. We have seen Spark SQL, which is obviously a big I would say asset for you from the big data perspective. And another tool which we're gonna now learn is DAX, but in terms of SQL translation. So hopefully it will be beneficial, and you have enjoyed it. I'm gonna see you in the next video with our first DAX expression with SQL translation. Thanks for watching.